The United States has now completely lost its soybean exports to China. Farmers are worried. Even if they plant now, they are afraid that foreign buyers will cancel before harvest time. American corn, which once fed millions of people around the world, is now being rejected at many borders. No American farmer expected this. But thousands of tons of corn are now being returned. Contracts are being canceled. Prices are falling fast. Farmers from Iowa to Indiana are desperately looking for buyers. Meanwhile, Canada is quietly winning. Their corn is cleaner and more expensive. They are signing billion-dollar deals with countries like Japan, South Korea, and those in Europe. The American farming dream is shaking. And Canada is stepping in quietly to take over the spot the US once had. So why is American corn being rejected? Why is the world turning away from this symbol of American agriculture? And if we lose corn, what will fall next? All data and opinions in this video come from news reports and public sources. Viewers should check the facts before making any decisions. Now, let's look at the 6 US states that are suffering the most. In these places, corn is no longer a sign of life. It's now a problem no one wants to deal with. Number 1, Iowa. Welcome to Iowa. Every piece of land here was once as valuable as gold, if gold was measured in bushels of corn. Iowa had over 13 million acres of cornfields. It was once the starch factory of the nation. But now, corn prices have dropped below $3.50 per bushel. That's cheaper than a cup of coffee at a gas station. In many places, farmers don't even bother to harvest anymore. They let the corn rot in the field. Why? Because harvesting brings even more loss. One farmer said, "I've been growing corn for 30 years. This is the first time I let it rot." Silos are full. No one is buying. There's no storage space left. What used to be golden fields are now just a heavy burden. Corn factories that used to run all week now only open 2 to 3 days. Workers have switched to Uber driving or food delivery. Even schools are struggling. There's no money for air conditioning. In the summer heat, children use hand fans. They just hope their parents still have jobs next week. Some children have dropped out of school. Their parents can't afford gas, or they've left town to find work. In what was once the world's grain capital, everything has gone quiet. No harvesters. No trucks. Not even hope. Someone once said, "If you want to know how healthy a country is, look at its fields." If that's true, Iowa is sick and in need of rescue. And if Iowa, the strongest farming state, can fall like this, what do you think will happen to the weaker ones? Number 2, Illinois. If Iowa is the heart of American farming, Illinois is the lungs. And now, those lungs are gasping for air. Illinois used to be called the land of corn and soybeans. But today, farmers are not talking about planting. They're talking about selling tractors, land, or even their whole farms, sometimes to Chinese companies. Just months ago, this state was busy day and night. Trains were moving corn from farms to seaports. Illinois was the center of corn transportation. But now, the world is rejecting American corn. The trains that once ran every hour now sit still for weeks. One farmer joked, "I don't know if I'm farming or filming a new season of Survivor. Fertilizer prices have doubled. Farm loans now have 9% interest. Soybean prices have dropped to where they were 10 years ago. Many farmers are mortgaging everything just to survive. Hundreds of truck drivers have lost their jobs. Some are selling their trucks online. Others are driving Uber by day and delivering pizza by night. No one thought the farm transport industry would fall so fast. In Joliet, corn packing plants have cut orders by 60%. Shifts are being cut. Breaks are now longer than working hours. No one has been fired yet. But everyone knows it's coming. Chicago is also struggling. It looks like a broken-down video game. There's a budget crisis. Police are quitting. And people are leaving faster than corn is being harvested. If you think education might help, the news isn't good. Many rural schools in Illinois are now teaching online. Why? Because they can't afford bus fuel. One teacher said, "I taught geography on Zoom from my kitchen while my child sat next to me and asked, 'Mom, what's for dinner?' I didn't know." Illinois was once proud of its farming. Now it feels like a rusty machine with no oil and no one left to drive it. While Illinois farmers are trying everything to survive, Canadian farmers just across the border are signing export deals worth millions. It's the same land, the same crops. But one country invests. The other only watches. Do you think Illinois still has a chance? Or will it join Iowa as a fallen farming giant? Comment your thoughts below and don't forget to subscribe. Number 3. Nebraska. If you imagine Nebraska as endless cornfields glowing under a sunset, erase that picture. Now, what stretches out is not corn, but worry. Corn used to be shipped from Nebraska to Asia. Now, people are leaving Nebraska just to find work. People used to say, in Nebraska, just plant and God will provide. But now, even with the sun shining, there's no help. Shipping costs have gone up. Export contracts have been canceled. And hot weather has pushed up electricity bills. One farmer in Lincoln said, "Last year I planted to sell. This year, I planted and just left it. Next year, maybe I'll just post pictures on TikTok and hope other farmers understand." Local farming groups now feel like support centers. Old farmers sit and sigh. They say things like, "Next year, I'll sell my land to someone who knows what they're doing." Gas stations in small towns are closing. Banks only open twice a week. Shops are selling second-hand items from Walmart. Meanwhile, Canada is showing corn ads on Japanese TV. Their corn is selling. Nebraska's corn is sitting in the sun, unsold. Why is Canada doing better? Because they invest in quality, in storage, in people. They follow global standards. Nebraska is being left behind. In Nebraska, farmers now sit with cold cups of coffee. They're no longer talking about harvests. Instead, they say things like, "Next year, I'll quit and sell the land to someone who knows business better." In rural Nebraska, gas stations have closed. Banks only open twice a week. Some stores have started selling second-hand Walmart items just to stay open. Meanwhile, across the border, Canada is airing ads on Japanese TV. They're promoting high-quality corn from Saskatchewan. Why? Because Canada invests in the supply chain, in quality, and in its people. And Nebraska? All that's left is the sound of the wind blowing through empty fields. Have you ever been to Nebraska? Does what you see today match the memories you once had? Let us know in the comments, and follow the channel, because what we're about to reveal about American farming might surprise you even more. Number 4. Minnesota. In Minnesota, you don't hear the loud machines of harvest. There are no long lines of trucks waiting to deliver corn. Instead, you see signs at farm co-ops saying they've stopped buying corn. Not because the price is too low, but because there's no space left to store it. Farmers are still harvesting like every year. But for the first time, they don't know where to take the corn. At one high school, teachers said students are not missing school because they're sick. They're missing school because parents can't afford gas or school lunches. One student said, "I don't want to drop out. But my mom said we have to save gas. We live 35 minutes from school." When children stop going to school because corn can't be sold, it's not just a farming problem. It's a community crisis. In Minnesota, sales of seeds and fertilizer have dropped more than 60% from last year. Farmers have stopped investing. Why plant more if nothing will sell? Minnesota didn't collapse all at once. There were no protests. No storms. It's happening slowly, one person at a time. One loan at a time. One unpaid lunch at a time. And if this kind of cold doesn't come from the weather but from the economy, how long can small towns survive? If you're young and living in Minnesota, would you stay and keep farming? Or would you leave and start over somewhere else? Tell us in the comments. Number 5. Indiana. Every year during harvest season, Indiana used to be full of life. You could hear machines working. Smell engine oil. See trucks full of corn lined up on highways. But this year, it's silent. The corn is ripe, but no one is harvesting. Why? Because it costs more to harvest than what they'll earn by selling it. Fuel, labor, and storage costs are too high. So, many farmers are choosing not to harvest at all. A farmer from Rush County said, "I'm not giving up, but I can't keep losing money just to work." In cities like Fort Wayne and Terre Haute, factories that once made hundreds of harvesters a month now have barely any orders. Workers get every other day off, unofficial unemployment. Restaurants that used to be busy are now only open half the week. There's no lunch crowd because there are no more farm shifts. When farmers stop harvesting, they don't need machines. When no one needs machines, factory workers lose their jobs. And when people with jobs don't know if they'll have work next week, the whole state suffers. Indiana was once proud of balancing industry and agriculture. But now, that balance has become a trap. No one buys corn, so no one harvests. No one harvests, so nothing gets made. Everything has stopped. No one knows where to begin again. Even when crops are ripe, they're being left to rot. If that's the case, what can save this industry from breaking apart? Do you know someone who used to work in a farm equipment factory? How are they doing now? Share in the comments. Number 6. Missouri was never the biggest corn grower. But it played a vital role in packaging and shipping corn out of the country. From St. Joseph to Springfield, packaging plants have cut their orders by 40% in just a few months. One factory near Jefferson City even shut down its entire packaging line. Not because of a machine issue, but because there was nothing left to pack. Corn isn't selling. So no packaging is needed. Diesel sales have dropped more than 25%. That quiet number tells a big story. No corn is moving. No trucks are hauling. There's no more cash moving through these towns. The small roadside diners that truckers once filled are now only open a few days a week. Night shift workers now also cover afternoon shifts, just to keep enough hours. Everything is shrinking. Not because of one big collapse, but because people have gotten used to things being worse than before. No one talks about the cuts, but everyone knows their turn is coming. Missouri used to be the final stop in the journey of every American corn shipment. Now, it feels like a book that ends without a final sentence. There are no more truck engines. No more money flowing. And if even the truckers stop, who will keep the system alive? Number 7. Canada's rise. While U.S. cornfields are sitting untouched, while harvesters are covered in tarps, and while global buyers walk away, Canada is quietly securing billion-dollar export deals. Not because they grow more corn. Not because their corn is cheaper. But because buyers trust them more. Canada has a clean, green, and smart strategy. They've been preparing for this shift for years. They don't shout, but they plan well. Canada invests in clean corn. No GMOs, no harmful chemicals like glyphosate. They follow strict EU and Asian safety standards. They use batch-by-batch quality checks so bad corn doesn't get mixed in. Their certifications are clear and easy to check. These are the things international buyers care about. And while American corn is getting warnings about chemical risks and inconsistent quality, Canadian corn is being sold as premium, high-end goods. Why do buyers trust Canada more? Because Canada keeps trade simple and stable. They don't mix business with politics. They don't add surprise tariffs or get caught up in fights. While the US is arguing over trade deals and foreign policy, Canada is just doing business. Canada signs trade deals that last 3 to 5 years with countries like Japan, South Korea, Germany, and the Netherlands. These deals are not just about price. They are about trust and long-term support. Canada does not join trade fights. This makes other countries feel safe doing business with Canada. Even if Canadian corn costs more, buyers know it is reliable. In Ontario, a farm group signed a $1.2 billion deal to sell corn to South Korea over 5 years. This is not a one-time thing. It's part of a strong system. In Canada, farmers get insurance for both their crops and the price. So they feel safe to spend money on better tools and new methods. The Canadian government helps with inspections, transport, and trade talks. Farmers are not left to do everything alone. Canada is also changing how it farms. It follows New World rules like using fewer chemicals and protecting nature. But in the US, many farmers still don't know if they should plant next season. Buyers from many countries now call Canada first to buy corn. A South Korean official said, "Canadian corn has been good for 5 years. We never had to return it." It's the same type of corn. But in the US, farmers are burying their crops because no one wants to buy them. In Canada, they are signing million-dollar deals. This is not the fault of American farmers. They work hard. But the system is broken. Canada is not doing magic. They're just doing things the right way. America used to lead the world in farming. Now we must ask ourselves, how did we lose that spot so easily? If corn does not sell, it is not just about price. It is a sign that the whole system is falling apart. And regular American families are the ones suffering. Across the Midwest, the same stories are happening. A father lost his job because the ethanol plant cut hours. The mother now works part-time at a grocery store. Their oldest child paused college because they can't afford tuition. Their youngest misses school because there is no gas money to drive there. A Nebraska farmer said, "I used to tell my son farming could support a family. I tell him to do something else or leave." The problem is growing. Corn is used to feed animals too. But when corn prices drop and feed plants close, animal food costs go up. Farmers are forced to sell cows and pigs even at a loss. One farmer said, "We're not selling because we want to. We have no other choice. We used to say, we are proud to feed the world. Now it feels like the world doesn't need us anymore." This is not just about money. It feels personal. Millions of Americans feel their worth is tied to farming. Losing that hurts deeply. There are no protests. No loud complaints. Just quiet homes across small towns. But the numbers speak loudly. Foreclosures are up more than 30% in farming areas. More people in states like Iowa, Indiana, and Minnesota are applying for food aid. Craigslist is full of ads for used farm tools and tractors. It's a quiet call for help. A teacher in Missouri said, "Kids come to class with old shoes and thin jackets. They don't know trade policy. But they feel the results every day." This is not just one bad year. This is a slow and deep crisis. While US towns struggle, Canada signs another corn deal. If American corn can't feed American families, we should stop asking when the market will come back. We should ask how many more families will leave before it does. There was a time when corn meant America. From Iowa to Indiana, trucks carried corn day and night. It reached ports around the world. The US was the heart of global farming. But maybe that time has passed. We still use old ways and short-term deals. But the world has moved on. Canada now has trusted food labels. Brazil is using green farming methods. Europe is working together to grow its own food. Japan and South Korea now buy from countries they trust more. And the US? We're still planting seeds with old hopes. But the world has changed. America is a giant. But sometimes it forgets to stay alert. We trusted our name for too long. But trust, like crops, must be rebuilt every year. When China stopped buying. When the world asked for cleaner food. We were not ready. Now we are being left behind. Not with a big crash, but slowly. We lose contracts. Corn sits untouched in the fields. The US once led farming in every way. People learned from us. They bought from us. They trusted us. But now the world is looking for someone else. They choose Canada for safety and honesty. Brazil for fast growth and low prices. Australia for clean and eco-friendly farming. And the US? We are now the backup plan. No longer the first choice. So here is the big question. If corn, our most important crop, is no longer wanted, what do we still have to offer the world? If farmers don't want to harvest, if the world doesn't want to buy from us, then who are we in global farming? The world will not wait for us. And America cannot keep sleeping. It's time to wake up. Before the words, farming superpower, become just a line in a history book. We have now talked about 6 US states. 6 different stories with the same message, loss. Not just crops, but jobs, money, pride, and trust. The big question is not, will corn prices rise? It is, can the people living here survive? How many more seasons like this will we see before American farming loses its place in the world? If you live in a small town or have family in farming, please share your story below. This is not just news. This is real life for millions of people, and maybe for you too. Who is responsible for this quiet fall? Bad policies? The market? Or years of being ignored? We read every comment and want to hear your voice. If you think this story matters, please subscribe. Not for the algorithm, but because stories like this need to be told. We don't make videos to be dramatic. We tell real stories from places the news no longer visits. This video is based on public reports, true stories, and trusted data. We do not speak for any government or group. Our goal is to inform, to think with you, and to ask big questions. And if corn is just the first crop to fall, then what is next? Soybeans? Milk? Animals? Or maybe the hope of a whole generation? We'll be back in the next video to explore more. Don't forget to turn on the bell so you don't miss it.